Today, we make 3 farms. The first one's gonna go here. We need a fuel source for a furnace array that we're gonna make later on, which is gonna go right here across the street. After that, somewhere in this area, we're gonna start building a clay farm. Why clay? Well, the building behind me is gonna need a lot more bricks to finish it. A lot more buildings around here are gonna need bricks as well. We're gonna need clay to make terracotta because we got a new shop that we're gonna open up. Yes. And the combination of all 3 of these farms is gonna lead us back to the shopping district where we're gonna take this to another level, literally. Another level on top of this building to add to our store, keep building it up in the air. I think's my idea with different tiers, different parts of the tower, make different style of buildings. We'll see how that goes. Maybe it's a terrible idea. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But let's get right into it. This bamboo farm is going to copy the same exact pattern we used for the last farm that we created. Kmon's sugarcane farms tutorial. I'll link that again. We're kind of rinsing and repeating it. We're making it a little bit smaller, as you can see. It's not as long as the last one was. A little bit more condensed to try to help with some lag potentially. That could happen on the server with this much bamboo. We jumped a little bit ahead, but I wanted to show each one of these modules. They're pretty simple to understand. So underneath here, we have a long hopper array that leads to the chest where we have some random things stored right now. When there are items in this hopper minecart, it will hold it there until they all drain into the hopper. Then the signal will shut off, as we can kind of sample that here, like so. And then the items will end up in the large chest. Quick enough we can get the items in there, and I think we did, so we'll see a demo as it does its entire loop and comes back while they're running. And it's holding, it's draining all 32 of those items. But now we have the 32 items here. So when the lever is in the up position, that means everything is go. The repeaters underneath shut off so that the repeaters on top can be powered. But then when we flip it the other way, they swap. That tells this rail to power off so that it just is on hold. Everything's in place. And the next thing to do is to build the platforms just like this one, where we're gonna have a flying machine. And then on the inside, we will be adding bamboo. The bamboo farm is done. I want to give it a test run, but before that, I want to kind of go over a little bit of what we did to finish it. We got the flying machines just like this one. We'll put a link in the description for a good full-length tutorial for you to go through. But for this one, we are definitely capping off the top. You can see here we didn't put a top on. We're going to have a roof on this building eventually, but we wanted to cap it off because of lag. I didn't want the bamboo to grow all the way up to here and then potentially cause lag when the flying machine goes by. So we did put a cap. I believe it's 5 levels up. 5 levels up. That should be plenty. We're gonna get this going. I'm gonna set a timer. We're gonna see how much we can get in about maybe an hour. 1 hour AFK done. We have full double chest, full hopper, and 3.5 more rows of sugarcane. That's 5,740 bamboo. I said sugarcane. Bamboo in 1 hour. Tooth was slain by a magna cube. Poor Tooth. Now that we have our fuel source, it's time to build a furnace array. This is gonna be the chest that everything gets stored into. And we're gonna put some hoppers into it. Then we're gonna work some hoppers away around. And just to get kind of a sample, we'll do 1 row here. We won't do the turn yet where we add extras. Got our furnaces, and we're gonna plop them right on top here. And that should give us our output. So as we work on creating this little array here, I've gone ahead and pre-filled all 8 of these furnace with enough bamboo to just keep us going. And I want to just kind of test this out and see how it goes before we start adding in some of the automation with some rails and carts. You can see there's some server lag we're dealing with there. Let's get that going, and we should start seeing 8 at a time slowly popping in here. 2, 3, and as slow as I added them. But we should see 8 here. And they should just constantly come in actually because of that delay. 11, yeah, they're coming in nice. Very cool. So it's time to add some rails, some automation. So some rails to add what we're gonna smelt on the top, the fuel back here. And the way we set this up is we will have an input for fuel, so we don't always have to use bamboo. As you can see, it's gonna go through that really fast. I think it's about 4 bamboo per sand. You can see it's burning a lot. The arrow's not moving that fast. Yeah, it looks like it's about 4 per sand. So it's not very efficient, but it's gonna be efficient enough for us. So we finished the first iteration of the smelter, and it's gonna be more automated long-term. Right now we have a little input for fuel. And run that, it'll go right around. And then on the other side, we have an input for what we're gonna smelt away. Like I said, it'll be a little bit more automated. We'll get it to where the cart will constantly leave when it has items in it, as well as this cart will constantly go back and forth as it needs more fuel. I've gone ahead and pre-filled all the hoppers and the furnaces with enough fuel to start with for a while. One thing I did notice is that this machine by itself, or this automation by itself, won't keep up because we are using bamboo. Not the best fuel source, but it does the job when we pre-fill it this much. So before we do a smelting session, we'll probably come in here, get this one going for a little bit, go gather whatever we're gonna need to smelt, and then fill it up and let it go. We'll do a demo later on, but next we're gonna move to the third farm of the episode, the final farm of the episode. It's time to get going on some clay. All right, so the clay farm is done. I kind of wanted to go over it a little bit. This one is by Jax the Legend. I will put a link in the description as well. Great design. What we're going to eventually do is have a quad of these. I want to have 4 of them with the area to add the dirt nearby here. So we'll have one here, one behind it, a couple over here. So we can do 4 at a time, keep the production going. So if you haven't seen a farm like this before, what it's doing is we can do a little sample. Let's get rid of these, get these out of the way so you can kind of show it off a little bit while we wait for the clay to turn, or the mud to turn to clay. So what we do is we add dirt here, it moves it over to this dispenser. When we do the next one, the bottle kicks out, hits the dirt, turns it to mud, puts the bottle back in here. So the empty bottle goes in, and it comes over to this water source up here, eventually moves its way up back into the hopper and fills up this dispenser down here with some water. So if we come over here and we get really close, we can just hold down right click and let it go. And that should fill it back up because we only cleared out a few. But then sometimes it messes up and one doesn't get turned into mud, but that's okay. So then we wait for all this to turn to clay. After that, we can come over here, pick up all of our clay, and we accidentally got some dirt, but that's all right. And then we'll head on over to our smelter. We'll turn it on. It will go ahead and make all the bricks that we need to finish that. The other thing we talked about doing was using this to get terracotta. Yes, we could go mine terracotta, and you can see we are mining here, so we might as well go mine terracotta. But that's no fun. I don't find fun in just exploring and getting resources that way. I like creating farms like this to kind of just take some time, enjoy it, enjoy the process, enjoy the automating part of it, the creating the automated farm as much as it is. This one is a little manual, but that's okay. But we got a few of those. What we'll do is we'll create a shovel eventually that has silk touch on it, so we don't have to use the pickaxe, which is a little weird. But then we'll come over here to this chest here. We'll throw our clay blocks in there, put them into the smelter as well, and that will give us our fancy terracotta that we could then dye any color that we want. And we can get a ton of that going, as well as a ton of bricks, and potentially make some profit off of this farm. That's the plan. You know, so far, our history with shops in this server hasn't gone great. We've made a little bit of diamonds on the slime farm. This one, I don't expect to do any better, but we might as well get it going. It'll be fun to have more shops and potentially make a little bit of diamonds to spend on other things to help with our build process and speed things up for us. I want to jump into free cam mode and kind of show what we've got, the entire area that we've been working with as we have the farms going and running and everything trying to get up to speed, and it's fun. I'm enjoying this process, but next episode we're going to start making it pretty. I do not like things uncovered like this. I don't like all the redstone showing. I like all my farms to be buildings, and that's the theme of my style of Minecraft and the type of town that we're creating. We're building this city that's going to have function to it. We're building this industry area to start producing a bunch of goods for us to then be able to build some cool buildings and the commercial, in air quotes, area and all of that. So that's where I'm going to leave you. And in between episodes, I'm going to spend a little bit of time over in this area working on maybe adding a little bit more, maybe a couple more of these modules of the clay farm to speed up production of that, get a lot of terracotta, a lot of bricks for some future builds, and getting that store up and running. Again, I'm Socksway Up, and I will catch you on the next episode.